The 555 timer is a very well-known circuit. It's good at doing activities relating to time, and its name starts with 3 5s. One of the things that can be done is to make an astable oscillator, which will produce a waveform that kind of looks like this. You can see it goes up and down, producing a waveform, which can be used to drive a lot of different circuits as, for example, a clock signal. Here's a circuit that I made using a 555 timer. We can do some interesting things with LEDs. So the astable oscillator circuit is a pretty easy circuit to make. It requires a few components, being the timer itself, and then you need a couple of resistors and a capacitor. Let's make this circuit. So we have our breadboard, and then we could just put in the timer. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to connect the power rails to the front of the circuit. So let's start off with the ground pin, our power, which I guess is plus 5 volts. So we have a resistor going from, there's this resistor going from pin 7 to 5 volts. So the timing circuit requires a couple resistors, so we're going to be using 1 kilo ohm resistors. And you can see it goes from this pin to 5 volts. So we're just going to do that here. And like so, right? I didn't make a mistake. They're very quiet. So I guess we're doing all right here. So now we're going to get our another resistor, which in the same case, guess what? It's another 1 kilo ohm resistor. You can use different values of resistors, but I don't really want to. What we're connecting is from pin 7 to pin 2. So like this, on the breadboard, it just could go over the IC. So you need some kind of a capacitor. The thing with the capacitors is the higher the capacitance, the lower the frequency is going to be. This is a 100 oof capacitor. They say it's supposed to be microfarad, but she told me that the UF means oof, so do you agree? Okay, we're going to put the capacitor in place, and again we're going from pin 2 to ground, so you see there's kind of, it goes through one resistor, through another resistor, to the capacitor. The next connection we need to make is from pin 2 to pin 6. So the next connection we need to make is from pin 2 to pin 6. So I think to do that, it'd be easier just to bend this one. So if we want to actually see the output, we could use this LED. We could connect the positive of the LED to some random place on the breadboard, and the negative could go straight to ground. The LED, we want to have a resistor so we don't overcurrent the LED. So guess what we're going to use? Another 1 kilo ohm resistor. Very nice. And that's going to go to pin 3, which is the output. This is our ground. This is our plus 5 volts. So we need power to get to the other side of the breadboard too. And it looks like we're only using the positive on this end, so we could just get this. And here's our completed circuit. So now we've done our first class in electrical engineering on using a 555 timer as an astable circuit. We could hook up our oscilloscope to the output on pin 3. That's pretty tight. Now we've hooked up our oscilloscope and we could see the output, and you can see we're at 5 Hertz. So right now the circuit has a 100 microfarad capacitor. So we can, for example, swap that out with this capacitor, which is 47 microfarad. So it's about half the value. So we should get about twice the frequency. So we can just pull this one out, put this one in, and now the light is blinking. And as expected, the frequency is about twice as high, about 10 Hertz. So yeah, this is how you can make a simple oscillator circuit using a 5-5 timer. Thank you for watching.